Manquer is a tricky verb, and students often tell me it's a scary one because it's a difficult one. For example, I miss you translates into tu me manques. Why? We're going to see that together. Today, I want you to take some time with you to go through the verb manquer, understand it, and fix your mistakes once and for all. This is what you will be able to do after watching this lesson. If you're a beginner, you will be familiar with manquer, which is good enough. Don't overthink it. If you're beyond beginner, if you're an advanced or an intermediate student, you'll be able to master the use of manquer and understand it in a very solid way. As usual, you can download the full lesson on communefrancaise.com for free. In PDF, you just have to leave your first name and email on communefrancaise.com and you will get the PDF immediately. It's completely free. You can print it, share it, take notes, save it for later, whatever you like. It's yours and it's free. Bonjour, c'est Géraldine. Bienvenue sur Commune Française. Allez, c'est parti. Manquer is a verb that means to miss. Okay, that's the basic meaning of it. It also means to fail, to lack, to be absent. Today, I'm going to only talk about the to miss meaning. Okay, we're going to cover plenty of synonyms of this verb manquer and expressions in another lesson because it's such a beautiful verb with lots of beautiful expressions that I needed a full lesson to go through them. So today, we'll only focus on the to miss translation of manquer. Let's get to the scary part. Manquer is scary. It's okay. We're going to cover it together. I know, again, the basic cliché of it is that I miss you translates into tu me manques. Tu me manques. Why? You will find lots of tricks and tips online and from teachers about how to remember what to say and when, like translate it into you are lacking to me or you are missing from me. It's really up to you. I think, and I always tell my students, think backwards, think the other way. So I miss you is tu me manques, just don't overthink it. We're going to see it together. But if your teacher tells you nice things and nice tricks about it, share them in the comments. If you heard or read things online as well that could help students, please share it. It's always interesting to cross references, especially to remember difficult things better. Okay? So, the use of manquer in I miss you and tu me manques is that we use manquer à quelqu'un. Manquer à quelqu'un. That's the structure of the verb in this translation. Manquer à quelqu'un. For example, if we want to say Pierre misses Jeanne. Pierre misses Jeanne. We would translate into Jeanne manque à Pierre. Jeanne manque à Pierre. As you can see, you just put one in instead of the other and it works. Again, don't overthink it. Sometimes just remembering what to do, but without all the reasons why, is much better than finding a good reason. So here, Pierre misses Jeanne is Jeanne manque à Pierre. Remember, the structure is manquer à quelqu'un, and we have to put them in front of instead of the other. If you understand that, you got 99% of what was scary about manquer. So you're almost done. That's what matters. Manquer à and putting one instead of the other. What about phrases with pronouns? Okay, so for example, I miss you, which is the classic example. I miss you is a singular you. I miss you. Well, let's take the structure that we talked about before. We should say tu manques à moi. Tu manques à moi. Okay? Then in French, we can remove the à moi and change it. So in tu manques à moi, we take the end, à moi, and we put it first. So we say tu me manques, tu me manques. And this is why I miss you translates into tu me manques. It should be tu manques à moi, but grammatically it's not correct. We say tu me manques, tu me manques. So now let's try with other examples. For example, you miss me. You miss me. Think about it. What would you say for you miss me? With a singular you as well. What do you think? Okay, so we take the same structure to je manque à toi. Je manque à toi. We took the structure of manquer à and we inverted the subject and the object. Je manque à toi. Je manque à toi. Again, the end à toi can be replaced by te at the beginning, so it becomes je te manque. Je te manque. Remember, this applies to singular you. Good? Let's try another example. How would you translate you miss her with a singular you as well? You miss her. What do you think? You miss her. Let's look at the structure, which is grammatically wrong, okay, but it's just for thinking about it. Elle manque à toi. Elle manque à toi. Okay? We take the end à toi, we replace it by te, and this becomes elle te manque. Elle te manque, again with a singular you. If you wanted to put a plural you with several people, we would say elle vous manque. Elle vous manque. Okay? Elle vous manque. Now, if you're thinking about the big picture, you might be wondering what the pronouns are. So we're just going to take a little bit of time to recap what they are. So je is I, that's easy. Tu is singular you, you already know that. Il is he, elle is she, nous is we, vous is a plural you, and il, masculine they, elle, feminine they. That's the easy part. Now, when you want to replace the à moi, etc., what do you say? You say me for à moi, that's me. You say te for the singular you. You say lui for him. You say lui for her. Yes, that's the same. You say nous for us. Vous for the plural you. So these ones are the same as the pronoun, the subject. But for the il and elle, you say leur. Okay, leur. So what can you see here? That's elle and il in singular and plural are going to have the same. The gender is not going to influence the pronoun this time. Okay, so this is everything you need to make all the options about translating miss. Take some time, look at the table. You can download it on communefrancaise.com. We're going to see more examples right now. Now that we have the table, how would you translate we miss him? What do you think? We miss him. We would say il nous manque. Il nous manque. What about they miss her? They miss her. Remember? Do that. Remove the a. Everything we mentioned before. Elle leur manque. They miss her is elle leur manque. Good. Again, don't panic if you don't get it. Take your time. It can be difficult because you have to think about it, but once you get the structure, everything will get better. One last thing. Don't forget that the verb always agrees with the subject. So if you change the subject and it's a plural one instead of singular one, it has to agree with it. For example, how would you translate she misses us? She misses us. What do you think? It's nous lui manquons. Nous lui manquons. Remember? So you can see that the subject is nous here. So the verb has to agree with it. Don't forget to conjugate the verb. Another one. I miss them with the feminine them, several women. I miss them. We would say elle me manque. Elle me manque, and here it's a plural. So the verb has to agree as well with elle. Elle me manque. If you're a more advanced student and you wonder, yes, this works in all the tenses as well, but you will have to adapt very often the place of the pronoun. We're not going to talk about this today because this could feel a full lesson to go through different tenses, but just know that it works as well, okay? But be careful about where you put the pronoun if it's a verb in two parts, for example. Yes, that can be tricky. We're not going to do a quiz today because you already thought about it way enough. But I have a question for you and a little bit of a challenge. Et toi, écris une phrase avec manquer en français. Écris une phrase avec manquer en français. Yes, give it a try. For example, mon fils me manque depuis qu'il est parti vivre en Espagne. Mon fils me manque depuis qu'il est parti vivre en Espagne. I miss my son since he left for Spain. If you like this lesson on the verb manquer, or you know people who don't actually really master it in French because it's a tricky one, please share it with your friends. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can put a little thumb up if you want. You can subscribe to the channel if you wish to avoid missing any lesson in the future. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can also share it on Twitter. You can also share it by email or just telling your friends about it, especially your French class. They might be interested in that. That's the best way to support my work at Comme une Française. If you want more spoken everyday French and modern one, you can get my 10-day everyday French crash course for free on commeunefrancaise.com. Go to commeunefrancaise.com, find a little opt-in that says get the course, and leave your first name and email. You will get lesson 1 immediately. It's completely free, it's 10 days long, it's by email. Students seem to like it very much, but if you don't, you can unsubscribe anytime. I wish you une bonne journée, une bonne nuit, maybe une bonne soirée, who knows where you are. And I will see you next time. Don't miss my second lesson about manquer. We're going to talk about expressions and synonyms with manquer. Allez, salut!